is from my first intuitive eating video. This little fire has been put inside my soul, but it just feels good to feel the connection with you guys over on Instagram. Comments and the feedback, the personal messages, the phone calls, the texts from my friends in college that are saying, yes, we want to hear more. Keep speaking your truth. And so I'm here today for part 2 of my intuitive eating video. If you missed part 1, be sure to go back and watch that if you're like, what is she talking about intuitive eating? My very first video was all about what intuitive eating is and why I decided to jump into intuitive eating. So those are going to be 2 things that will really go hand in hand with today's video on what the past 5 months of my personal journey has really looked like with intuitive eating. Now, everybody's intuitive eating journey is going to be different because we're all unique individuals and we all show up to this space, our own history, our own journeys, our own baggage. As you approach intuitive eating, it will look differently. As you jump into intuitive eating, you're kind of like fired up and you're like, yes, we're going to do this. If you're like me, you're going to hit a lot of ups and downs. And the last 5 months have had high highs and low lows. It hasn't just been this, yay, now we intuitively eat and this is like easy and I'm happy and my pants fit great story. This is a very raw, real, it hasn't been easy, it's been hard story. And it's actually taken me this long to sit here and show up and sit in front of the camera because I felt a lot of shame the last 5 months. And I know that is not from God. I know that is just totally the enemy trying to get me to shut up and return to my own ways, but I refuse. And I've kept grinding through the last 5 months and really learning, reading all the books, listening to all the podcasts, just really seeking wisdom and truth here because I think it's important. And I'm really committed to this new practice and I'm committed to showing up for me. I'm committed to showing up for you. I'm committed to showing up for my family, my daughters, in this new way, this new practice of being strong in my body, in my mind, in my spirit. And I really, truly believe that intuitive eating is the answer to that. And I'm really excited about it and how it affects body positivity and just my ability to show up for myself and my family. So I'm really passionate about this, if you can't tell, and excited to just continue the conversation. I've had a lot of really good feedback over on Instagram. So if you haven't already joined me over there, I'm at Ashlyn Carter. Love processing this with you over DMs and in my posts. And it's just a fun way to connect. Back in May, I was coming off my, January Whole30, summer's approaching, started doing all the research on intuitive eating and I could not get enough. I read several books, I ordered this little worksheet and I would really just try to be super mindful and intentional about what I was eating and why. I think my biggest takeaway over the last 5 months has been that it has just been not easy. It is not easy to jump into and away from your old patterns. So this is what an old pattern would look like for me. It was May, summer's approaching, I've got beach days, I live in San Diego, we're at the beach every day, I've got vacations coming up. I'm gonna like kick it into high gear and I'm going to put my body in check and I'm gonna drop the 5 to 10 pounds and then I'm gonna feel good about myself, right? Or so I think, because then once you get to that 5 or 10 pounds, it's still not good enough. You're still not perfect, all the things. So at that point, then I would start all the diets and I would kind of torture my body. I'd make myself work out hard, not let myself have this or that. And I would drop the weight and that's where I would set. And then, it would come back on a little bit and I'd cycle it back through the whole summer. And then I'd get to fall and I'd be like, I'd be here in October and I'd be like, oh, thank God we made it to October. I'm still gonna try, but I'm not gonna try that hard. I'm gonna bake all the things and then I'm gonna go off the deep end again and then we'll reconvene back in May. And I don't know if that sounds familiar to you at all, but that's kind of my MO for my life. And I've always done that. And I thought that was natural because I thought everybody does that. Everybody lives that way. And in May, I had to really start practicing what intuitive eating meant. And I was like, okay, Well, I read that intuitive eating, everybody has this natural set point they talk about. Your body, they believe your body has this natural set point, and it's made up of just your genetics and just like the natural weight your body settles in. You might always gain you might have a few pounds higher, you might have a few pounds lower. So I was reading about this natural set point, but your natural set point is just kind of the weight your body always comes to. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, pretty sure I think I know what my natural set point is. It's the weight where I'm just cruising, where I'm not punishing, but I'm not overindulging. I think in my head, I know what my natural set point is. Now, we don't know exactly what our natural set point is, right? But I was telling myself, this is the number I think my natural set point is. And in my mind, I was like, well, I'm probably like 10 pounds, 8 pounds over my natural set point. So if I really am really good about intuitive eating, my body will eventually get there. And so I was so focused on that was completely wrong, because they say you need to like not use intuitive eating as a diet. And so I started off intuitive eating as a diet, and I was still recognizing all those old patterns of not allowing myself to eat certain things because they were bad. And they talk a lot about food neutrality and how if you've lived your whole life and you've told yourself that pizza is so bad for you and that you are not allowed to eat it, what does it make you want to do? It makes you want to have the pizza. And so I spent probably all of June, July, and part of August having to unlearn all of the things. And what that meant is giving myself permission to eat all the things. And you know what that looked like? It looked like happiness and like freedom. But it also looked like my pants don't fit and everything is tight and I'm going up sizes and I'm heavier now than I ever have been since like having kids, like that, you know, pregnant post-baby weight. And that is a really crappy feeling, you guys. And with that came a lot of shame. I was like, I can't get in front of YouTube and film a video on intuitive eating when I am sitting here super heavy, super uncomfortable, but also like freedom and eating intuitively, kind of. I mean, I didn't go crazy, but like I just let loose for the first time in my entire life. And that's kind of what it resulted in. These two just kind of juxtaposition feelings. We were getting ready to go to Hawaii, and I kind of thought to myself, gosh, I'm just still not, you know, I'm active and I eat healthy, but again, not like super restrictive diet at this time. But I was thinking in my head, well, I probably should just try to like tomorrow wake up. I have 1 week left before our trip, kick it into high gear. And my body, and I honestly think it's God's grace to me, my body physically would not let me diet. Like I just could not muster up any more strength or courage to even entertain the idea. And I really feel like it was God protecting me and saying, this is gonna be worth it. I want you to keep showing up for yourself. And then if that means you have to keep just living your life and enjoying the foods that I've created here on this earth for the time being, then you need to do that. And that was awesome, but it also hurt. It also meant feeling like I needed to cover up more on my vacation while fighting the thoughts and battles of just being like, this is who I am, while eating french fries by the pool, while fighting that idea of like, when I get back from vacation, then I'm gonna like, maybe I should go back to dieting. And it was that constant, like, well, maybe I should just go back to dieting. Maybe if I could just like get back down to my natural set point, if I could just diet, I know what to do. I'll do a quick like 2-week Whole30 cleanse, and then I'll get back to my natural set point, and then I'll practice intuitive eating. And that's what I just had to keep battling myself. And I just felt like so much shame in it, and being like, you know what? No, this is like, I am in this for the long haul, and it might take me a year, 2 years to really learn my body. And I had to submit and surrender to that and just be like, you know what? I'm gonna really put this to the test because I really want to see if this works. So fast forward to August. August starts, I get back from my trip, and I just noticed that I'm just, surprise, surprise, not feeling super good. I kept thinking, well, maybe something's wrong with my thyroid. My moods were up and down. I just didn't feel strong. I didn't feel healthy. I didn't feel energetic. I know how to fix that with food. So why don't I just eat what makes me feel good? Not you have to eat the kale salad, not you have to eat a green smoothie, not you can't eat pizza. Just try to really pay attention what makes you feel good. And so I did that, but it took me a couple months to get to that point of really wanting to pay attention to my body and to just stop rejecting everything so hard and to just say, I want to eat what makes me feel good. And sometimes that looks like a glass of wine and a piece of pizza. And sometimes that looks like kale salad. And so for the last 6 weeks or so, I feel like I'm really following into this rhythm. And you know what? Surprise, surprise. I feel really good, and I don't feel like I'm quite maybe at my natural set point, but I mean, who knows, maybe I am, but I feel really good. I feel confident, I feel strong, I feel like I crave that kale salad for lunch at times. I've noticed at night that I don't like to eat late. I notice sometimes that eating too much gluten makes me feel bloated and heavy, and so I've just really began this process of paying attention to what makes me feel good, not restricting. I'm gonna go out with my son and take him to get ice cream. I'm gonna get a little ice cream too because I want him to see his mom enjoying life. All of this knowledge and all of these things are a very personal practice and experience for each of us individually. And so for me, I kind of just had to wrestle with allowing myself to eat all the things. And if you get that book, Intuitive Eating, there is a section and a chapter on that where it says sometimes you have to just get to that place of allowing yourself to eat all the things so that you can do all that damage that you've done in your head of like telling yourself you're bad for having a piece of cake, telling yourself you're bad for having 4 pieces of pizza. You just have to sometimes allow yourself to get there before you can kind of work your way back into really learning intuitive eating. Intuitive eating is really learning to pay attention to your body cues and your signals. And you eat when you're hungry. You don't eat because you're supposed to eat 5 meals a day. You just don't. Like, eat when you're hungry. And it's unlearning so many old patterns that for me personally, I'm still learning. I'm still getting there, but I'm feeling so much better. I'm feeling like I'm really coming into this, and I don't think, and for the life of me, I do not think that this is going to be something that I'm going to like, okay, I'm like I'm perfect at intuitive eating. But I wanted to film this video because I think it is important for you to see. Exciting, but it also comes with a lot of, it's a big learning curve, and it's hard to intuitive eat sometimes when your natural tendency is to want to go back to your old ways, try the quick fix, go back to your dieting. I've had to like a lot of mental like friction battling like against my own will sometimes. And I even told Travis like, oh, this is so hard. And he was like, well, just, I don't know, do what you want to do. I'm like, I know, but I'm in this, I'm committed. I really believe that this is the answer, and I want to really try this. Like, I really want to practice this, and it might be a while, it might take a while, but we're doing it. And so I wanted you to be able to see what somebody who has struggled with body image, with her weight, with just feeling confident and secure in herself. I want you to see what that looks like, because I think it's important for you to see just the real and the rawness. So it's just so good, you guys. Like, it is such a good spot to be here and to just feel free. Like, I feel free. I feel like it's hard, but I still feel free. And I think it's important to keep spreading this message because you are worth it. Like, your life is so much more worth living than the time you have wasted, the time I have wasted on caring about just the diets and the meal planning and the prep and the what can I eat or what will I eat. Think about the time that is freed up mentally when you no longer are just stressing about the number on the scale. Think about all the good things that you can do in your life when you're just free from all of that stuff, when you can just throw all that out and you have more mental space and clarity to just eat what you want to eat what makes you feel good. I know it sounds simple, it's not, but it kind of is. Think about all the good that you can do and the life you can live and the impact you can have on yourself and your family and your friends and your children and your community when you're not bogged down by all that junk. So that's what I'm learning. I'm sure I'll be back soon with another intuitive eating update as we get through the holidays and all the things, but this is kind of like a little diary, live diary, raw, real. Here we are. You guys, find me over on Instagram. I love connecting with you. I love conversing and learning with you. And we'll see you soon. Bye.